Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh to Madam Zatul. Okay, today we are from group 23 and we will present about statistical data of labor energy from Terengganu year 1982 until 2019 from group age 25 until 29. Before that, I will introduce my group member. The first one is me, NURANINA binti ISMAIL, Nurul Haziqah binti EFFENDY, NURDINA SYAMIERA binti Muhammad ROSDI, NURAISYAH binti ABDUL and NURATHIRAH binti RONI.
The data arrangement, we use frequency distribution, relative frequency distribution and cumulative to collect the data and do statistic of labor energy at Terengganu in 1982 until 2019 at age 25 until 29 years old. A frequency distribution is a list, table or graph that displays the frequency of various outcomes in a sample. Each entry in the table contains the frequency or count of the occurrences of values within a particular group of interval. A relative frequency is the fraction of times an answer occurs. To find the relative frequencies, divide each frequency by the total number of students in the sample. Cumulative relative frequency is the accumulation of the previous relative frequencies. To find the cumulative relative frequencies, add all the previous relative frequencies to the relative frequency for the current row.
For a graphical method, we decided to make a frequency or give an histogram. Now I want to explain for frequency or give. Based on the table that we provided, in OGIF we may have classes, upper class boundaries, frequency and cumulative frequency. Okay, now I will explain how to get the upper class boundaries. The first one you must to do is 44.0 you must minus 43.9 and you will get 0.05. 0.05 is the number that you may have to get for the classes boundaries. Okay, now how to get the upper class boundaries is 43.9 you plus with 0.05 and you will get 43.95 for upper class boundaries. Okay, next, how to get the cumulative frequency is, okay, the first one is you must the copy for the first frequency, which is 14. Okay, next, how to get is the 14 for cumulative frequency. You must to plus with a 7 for the second frequency and you will get 21. Based on the graph, for frequency or give, for the highest one is 93.95 and the cumulative frequency at 63, while the lowest frequency or give is 43.95 at the 14 for the cumulative frequency. Okay, next we will proceed to the histogram table and graph. Okay, based on this slide, we have to put classes, lowest boundaries, upper boundaries, midpoint and frequency. Okay, now I will explain how to get the lower boundaries. Okay, the first one is for the first classes is 43.0. okay, you will minus with 0.05 and you will get it. The answer is 33.95. okay, and next, how to get the midpoint is the upper boundaries you must to plus with the lowest boundaries and then you divide by 2 and you will get the midpoint. For example is 43.9, okay, plus 34.0 and you divide by 2 and you will get 38.95. okay, this is how you will get the midpoint. Okay, based on the graph, we can see that for the highest one for the midpoint is 83.95 at frequency 14, and for the lowest midpoint is 73.95 at frequency 3.
A central tendency is a central or typical value for probability distribution. It may also be referred to as fulfillment center and venue. The average are also called conical central tendency tests. The arithmetic mean, median, and mode are most common indicator of central pattern. As you can see in the slide, there are three different formula. One for mode, median, and mean, and three different table for mean, median, and mode. We start with mean. The mean is the average of arithmetic and perhaps the most familiar indicator of central tendency. It's really straightforward to measure the mean. All the values are only summed up and spread by number of measurements in the data set. As you can see the formula in this slide, based on the formula we get a solution, and we have 1972.2 divide 36, and we got the answer 54,780. The conclusion of this mean is the mean of for level for each group 25 to 29 was approximately 54,780 people. Median. The middle value is a median value. It is a value that divides the data set by half and find the median. Arrange the data from the smallest to highest and then find the data point that has the same number for value above and below it. The approach used to find the median differs slightly depending on whether the data set has an even or odd number of value. So we can see in the slide the formula for median. The solution for median as we get is 49,500, sorry. And the solution, the conclusion from the solution is the median for a level for each group 25 to 29 was approximately 49,500 people. Mode is defined as the most common value in your data set as the mode. In some cases, data set may contain several modes, while some data set may not have any mode at all. In data collection can have one mode and more than one mode, or no mode at all. So as you can see the formula, and then we get the solution from the formula as 54,000. There are before we get the 54,000, we have to calculate 43.5 plus 7 minus 7 divide minus 7 multiply 10.5, and we get 54,000. So the conclusion for solution is, so the highest number of the level for age 25 to 29 is 54,000.
The measure of variation. Measure of variation is a measure of central tendency. It's some parameters attempt to describe the amount of variation between random variables. Three parameters that are used to quantify the amount of variation, which is range, variance, and standard deviation. Okay, about the range.
the range of a data is a difference between the maximum and minimum data entries in the set. So the formula to measure the range is maximum data entry minus with a minimum data entry. So this is our example for the solution. 93.2 is the maximum data entry, and then you minus with a 34.0 minimum data entry, so you will get the answer 59.2. okay, so 59.2 is the range. Next, the variance. Okay, the variance is a measure of variability. It is calculated by taking the average of square deviation from the mean. So variance tells the degree of spread in the data set. The more spread the data, the larger the variance is in relation to the mean. So this is the formula to measure variance. Group data as power of 2 equal 1 divided by n. N is the number of entries in sample minus 1. And then in bracket fx power of 2 minus in a bracket fx, and then of the bracket power of 2 divided by n. Okay, so this this is the solution for the variance measure group data. So I answer it step by step. As power of 2 equal 1 divided by 36 minus 1 in a bracket 11811x6 minus in a bracket 1972.2 power of 2 divided by 36. Okay, the second step is 1 divided by 35 in a bracket 11811x6 minus 3889572.88 divided by 36. The third step is 1 divided by 35 in a bracket 1181186 minus 108,043.69. And the last step is 1 divided by 35 in a bracket 1073142.31. The answer for the variance group data is 30661.21. After that, the standard deviation. So the formula for to measure standard deviation is S square root S power of 2. So the solution is square root 30661.21 power of 2. The answer is 175.10. Therefore, the sample of variance is about 30661.21 and the sample of standard deviation is about 175.10.
Okay, next 2.5 measure of position. A measure of position is method by which the position that a particular data value has within a given data set can be identified. As with other type of measures, there is more than one approach to defining such a measure. To determine the measurement of position, the data must be sorted from lowest to highest. A quarter is one of 3 points that divide the dataset into 4 equal groups. Q1 equal 25% percentile, Q2 50 percentile, and Q3 is 75 percentile. Okay, this is the table for measure of position, which is show the classes, frequency, relative frequency, and cumulative frequency. For Q1 this is the formula and the solution, and we got the answer is 36.4. For age group 25 until 29, Q1 located at class interval 44.0 until 53.9. So the answer number of level forced by age group 25 until 29 for Q1 is 36.4. For Q3, this is the formula and the solution that we did, and we got the answer 42.8. For interpret is for each group 25 until 29, Q3 located at class interval 34.0 until 43.9. So the answer number of labor force by each group 25 until 29 for Q3 is 42.8. And the last one is interquartile range. Interquartile range formula is Q3 minus Q1, which is 42.8 minus 36.4. And the answer that we got is 6.4. The interquartile range of labor force by age group 25 until 29 is 6.4.